Welcome back to the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Or if you've never been at the Adrienne Ross Show channel, you get a special welcome. Of course, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Much appreciated. I got to talk about something that I really would prefer not to have to talk about. It honestly is annoying, but you hear me say all the time that sports are a microcosm of society. You thought it was an escape. That's a joke. And that's an even bigger joke these days. No, sports are a microcosm of society. And if society is off the hook, it's going to manifest itself in all aspects of life. And sports are a huge aspect of our life and our culture. And so I say that this is about where sports and culture connect. So I'm not going to skirt around it. I'm going to deal with it head on. So here we go. Just released a video talking about the Caitlin Clark effect, about how I, as a Tennessee Lady Vols fan for years, found myself rooting for Iowa in the game on Saturday night. Tennessee prevailed, but I talked a little bit about what that was like. Oh my goodness, I find myself rooting for Iowa against Tennessee. Anyway, check out the video if you haven't seen it yet. Someone sent something to me, and I am going to address it in the game. And it was tight there down the stretch. In that game, Jensen, coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team, said something in the huddle to her players, and people on social media want to make something of it. First of all, look at what she said. This is Fox College Hoops on X. So let's enlarge. Okay. As a person who coached high school, mind you, not college, not professional for sure, high schoolers, I understand what it is to get in a huddle or even in preparation for a game in practice, and you're using terminology because you, number one, believe it, and number two, you want your team to buy into it, and you also want to deal in reality. And so what you do is you take elements that you can use to inspire your team, and you also want to make sure they understand exactly what the deal is, so that you can then get them to buy into, okay, this may be a deficit, but this is what we can do. And so you try to put that whole thing together, especially when it's looking like things aren't going your way. Now, in this game, Iowa didn't give themselves, I mean, well, I want to say they didn't give themselves a chance to win, but it was close. That 10-point, the end of the game was a 10-point game, but it was closer than that down the stretch. But when I say they didn't give themselves a chance to win, I mean, you cannot commit 30 turnovers in a game and expect to be to win. That, you have to take care of the basketball. And so when you're turning over the basketball, and I only saw a little bit of that game, as I said in the last video, but I saw some defensive pressure, full court pressure. I like full court pressure. I wonder why they don't do it more in professional basketball. Anyway, I digress. But you got this intensity of defense, and you're figuring out, man, how do we handle this press? The heads are going low sometimes, and so as a coach, I've got to say, all right, what do I see? So what I saw was a coach who is saying you're better than they are. Obviously, you always want to believe that you are the better team on the floor. So she's saying, this is what I see from the game. Okay. They're faster. They're taller. All those things are true, but you're still better than they are. Okay. Now we're going to look at some of the comments to the clip I just showed you, because that in today's society, in today's culture, somehow makes you a racist if you comment to a team like Tennessee and you're Iowa, you know what I'm saying, then all of a sudden you had to mean that they're the Black people, so they're going to be faster, they're going to be taller, they're going to jump higher, but you're smarter. Although she didn't say that. And even if she did and was talking about basketball, then it should be left to basketball. But now we've got a culture of people who are looking to be offended about every single thing. And being that this is Iowa, this only adds to it. Listen, Caitlin Clark, I already told you guys this. When Caitlin came into the WNBA, and people go, well, a Black person should be the face of the league. And I've covered that a bunch of times. People have written about it. People say it. People really feel it. And the other people go, well, there's, my goodness, there's Diana Taurasi. She's not Black. You got Kelsey Plum. People respect her. She's not Black. You know, you got people who start putting these names out. And I'm like, Caitlin's from Iowa. They see her as white. And there's a reason why the people in the league want Caitlin Clark to apologize for every random comment, because they feel like she's carrying upon her shoulders somehow. She's the epitome of racism or something. So Iowa, because the Iowa coach said it, then that makes her racist. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's look at some of these comments. Some of the comments here are just trash talking. It's what you do in sports. It's something that, you know, you're gonna talk trash. She said, we're better than them. You end up losing. And so people are going to come and they're going to talk. I don't have a problem with that. That's what we get in sports, right? So you get things like, you know, laughing my whatever off. They don't even believe that. You get things like, what were you saying? Nice try though. You know, a little photo there, not a big deal. You get things like, I can pretty much guarantee someone or many who heard that clip shared by Fox relayed the soundbite to someone connected with the Tennessee team, and it was used to motivate them for the second half. And of course, there's always locker room fodder, stuff like that. You get things like, no, they're not, meaning they're not better, right? So you get wrong. You get those kinds of things, you know, 30 turnovers, I think not. Stuff like that. You expect that. That's fine. But then you get this kind of stuff. Let me just point to a few. Then you get stuff like this. Sound racist as hell. Really? Thankfully, somebody responded, someone said, probably because you're fragile as hell. But that sounds racist as hell. For her to say to her team, you're better, they are stronger, and they are faster, they jump higher. But that sounds racist today for people who are looking to be offended. Somebody decides to call her a Karen, whatever Karen. Then there's this. So they are more athletic, but lack the same brain power as whites. That's supposed to be. I didn't hear her say that, but that's what we are. So they are more athletic, but lack the same brain power as whites. What a leap that is. Listen, I don't generally spend a lot of a time on X because of stuff like this is just it's so ridiculous. But it was brought to my attention, and I'm just gonna talk about it because it's so outrageous. But yeah, so this became her saying you're better than them, pumping up her team, pointing out the truth. Make no mistake about it. They're faster, they're taller, it is what it is. Okay. But you got to say, but you can do this. You're better than they are. But all of a sudden, that means you're racist and you're saying that they don't have the same brain power. What does that have to do with anything? And here's this one. This is why Jada, talking about Jada, is it Jim Fee? Am I pronouncing that right? This is why Jada never got the benefit of the doubt from me from that live fiasco. I've literally seen this SHIT happen in real life. She's a token in this group, and she's not going to stop her friends from being bigots because now she's not, quote, one of the good ones. Oh my goodness. And there's this, who the F is they? Again, thankfully, there are some people who are able to see that this is nonsense. How is a coach saying you're better than them? They might be taller, jump higher, racist in any way. She's literally trying to pump them up like any coach. I will call racism out every day of the week, except when it's not there. Okay. So, and someone else, what a, effing stupid comment. But this is where we are. That she's a token in this group. I'm going to bring this all together in a moment. Let's look at some people who are apparently more level-headed, like a couple of the others I've shown in response to comments. Someone says race baiting, as always, in women's basketball. What a joke. Exactly. It is a joke, race baiting. Here's someone else. Bro, is everything a race issue with certain people? Like, for real? Y'all throwing it around for attention? There's nothing racist about this. Y'all just peek your heads in for drama and not actual sports. And another one. All coaches say this in their huddle. Some of the comments here are just, and an eye roll emoji. We've seen enough. It is unreal. It's unreal, except it's real. And I know people are gonna come. I hear it all the time. People are gonna come and go, oh, you're just shilling for the white people, Adrienne. Oh, you're just trying to get clicks. Oh, you just sold out. Oh, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I'll be writing a book about it. But I'm just gonna tell the truth. The people who make comments like that are insecure as the day is long. The coach is trying to coach her team. They're facing a team of women who are faster, who are taller, who are able to jump higher. It's just reality. As a coach, she sees this as reality. They see it as reality. It causes them to feel like, man, maybe we can't get the job done. And she's saying, no, it's like when you're teaching about boxing out, for example. Well, I'm not tall as she is, coach. You might not be as tall as she is, but you're better. You can get in position. You can get in good position and you can box out. You can move your feet, keep the person behind you because she's taller than you are. It's not disrespectful to call the person taller if they're taller. It's just trying to say, what can we do to get you believing that you can get the job done? But the people who are insecure, the people who themselves see race in absolutely everything, they are the ones with the problem. And therefore, they want to transfer that onto someone else. They cannot fathom that there are people who just appreciate people as people. Now, I'm on record as saying many times, I'm not one of those people who will say, I don't see color. We shouldn't see color. No, God created us to be diverse, and it's a representation of the creativity of God. I don't have a problem with someone who looks at me and says and notices that I'm Black. It's not a compliment to me to be, oh, I didn't know you were Black. I don't trust people who say that, number one. Number two, there's no point. Yes, I am Black. I don't have a problem with you seeing my color. My problem is when that's all you see. And people quote Dr. King all the time, that we would not see color. And that's not what he said. He said, I want to live in a world where we're not judged by color. But these people who want to make somebody else seem as if they're racist, the problem with them is that first and foremost, and in some cases only, they see color. And they saw a white coach saying something that pressed a button of insecurity in their own lives. People who are not healed in certain areas of their lives will always find themselves in a situation where they are assuming the worst about other people. I wrote about this in my book. You had a chance to order it, Push Your Way to Purpose. But I talked about that. You think something is healed. Something looks like it's okay. And then somebody presses it. You think that broken arm was healed and somebody bumps up against it and you scream out. It's because it's not healed. It just looks the part. Some of these people are walking around looking a certain way. All of a sudden something pops up and it goes to their own insecurity, to their own mess. And therefore, because they're messy, they want to act like everybody else is messy. That coach is able to say they're taller, they're faster. She's able to say that because she's not walking around in a state of everything is about race. Oh my goodness, I got to just walk on eggshells and I can't. It's your problem. And until you get healed, you're going to constantly say somebody else has a problem. And that's an issue that we deal with in this society. And because every single thing is racist, then when true racism shows up, ain't nobody want to believe you because everything is racist. Oh, she sneezed, she must be a racist. Oh, she walked down the street, she must be a racist. But it's their idolatry. It's racial idolatry. It is, and it's sad. And some of these people are looking like they're okay. They're going to work every day. They're teaching Sunday school. They got Christian in their bio on social media, and yet they are jacked up in their way of thinking, and everything is a race issue. You have a problem that you need deliverance from. It really is. It's the truth. Does racism exist? Well, duh, absolutely. But not nearly as much as some people want to believe. When a coach in front of her team in a sport where you're talking about athleticism, where you're talking about height and speed and jumping ability, where she's not supposed to be able to say that without being raked over the coals. But thank God there are people with common sense who are just like, really, people? In the year 2024, here's where we are. These are probably some of the same people who feel like everybody is supposed to vote a certain way. Oh, it's a woman, you got to go for that. Oh, it's a Black woman, you got to go for that. And if you don't, then you're not really Black. It's their own issue. So listen, reasonable people did not see anything racist in what the coach said to her team, who's dealing with how to win the game and who's pumping them up. Of course I'm going to say you're better. Of course I'm going to believe in you. Of course I'm going to say, hey, they might have X, Y, and Z going for them, but my bet's on you. My bet's that you're better. That's what coaching is. Otherwise, get out of the business. And those of you who can't handle it, go do something else because you got issues. Anyway, I just, like I said, I don't hang out on X. It's a cesspool for the most part. I like to go in and check out here and there, especially basketball highlights and stuff like that. But as far as just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling that stuff, you need to shower after that mess because it is so, in many cases, honestly, demonic. Kudos to Coach Jensen for doing what you got to do to coach your sports team. Let us know what you think in the comments. We just gonna keep on rolling and we're gonna call it as it is, right? And again, this is the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Subscribe to the channel, comment, like, share. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.